my name is Paul. I'm sitting here with James Simpson, the counseling director out here at Rock Solid Refuge, and I am excited. This is the first episode of our series about helping teens navigate difficult times in their lives. James, thank you for sitting down with me.
It's a pleasure to be here, Paul.
All right, so for our inaugural episode, James, what is the most important thing for a friend, a parent, a grandparent, a youth worker? What if you could only touch on one critical thing, what would that one thing be?
I would say the area of communication.
Communication, okay.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Communication is the source of relationships. It is very important that when people come together, that they can communicate, especially when it's with our friends, but also with parents and teenagers.
Yeah. Okay. So communication breakdowns are a thing that happens a lot with teenagers, whether they have behavioral issues or not, really. So say that there was a communication breakdown between a parent and and their child. What are some of the ways that parent can re-engage with their teen?
Yeah, that's a good question, Paul. The first thing is to listen and not lecture. As easy as it is to lecture, because adolescents and teenagers, they feel before they think. That's just how they are.
Okay.
And if you get into lecture mode, you're not listening to them. That is the first thing which I can pass on, and that is the fundamental piece of communicating, is that if we listen first, then we'll be able to hear what the other person is saying.
Okay, so listen first. That's what's most important. What about if a teenager doesn't want to speak to the parent?
Doesn't want to.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to listen if they're not saying anything.
Yeah, that's fair. So what you can do is offer them time and space. So you can set limits, you can set boundaries. You can give them about 5 minutes to 10 minutes so that they can clear their head and you can clear yours. There's an old saying that says, calmer heads prevail. And so that would be something in which I would recommend, so that as you discuss things, or if there's silence, then you give people the ability to be able to have time and space, and as I call it, is like breathing, gave them some air.
Yeah, no, time and space for sure. Like, the more you try to press in, that's usually when they start building up their walls, right?
Absolutely. And another key aspect is to choose a venue after you have time and space, which is neutral, right?
Okay.
I mean, if you have it in the kitchen where you had the previous discussion and there's conflict, that's not going to work out well. So have a different venue, have a neutral space, go for a ride in the car, go for a walk in the park, go work out, go to a restaurant, go to Timmy's, whatever you need to go and do, have a neutral venue where it keeps the conflict out of that place.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else?
Yeah. I mean, there is something which we use for motivational interviewing, and that is the acronym called OARS.
OARS. All right.
Yeah. And the acronym is open-ended questions, affirmation, reflective statements, and summary. So how those work together is, when you ask an open question, instead of saying, how was your day, you ask, tell me about your day. And then they will tell you. If you ask that question each and every time in a different way, such as, tell me about the highlights of your day. What happened today that made it awesome?
Okay.
So you get them to engage in the conversation. Affirmation statements are just being positive.
That would be the A in OARS?
Yeah, A in OARS, yeah.
Okay.
So that would be, if they've made their bed, say thank you for that. Good job. I mean, if they worked hard, affirm them in that, because that gives them the ability to see the positive. Reflective statements, or when you're listening to them and then you repeat back to them what they've said in a question format. So you haven't done well today. How can we help you? How can we move forward? How can we get you to a place where you need to be? And summarize is just coming to the point where you acknowledge and say, today seemed really bad for you. So let's go and do something which will give you the ability to succeed. Summary statements are very powerful because they give you the ability to be able to not only listen, but to engage your teenager, and you bring them into the conversation.
Okay, so summary statements is like repeating back to them what they've said to you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's try to go over all of these things briefly again. So the first thing that you had said was listen, don't lecture.
Yes.
And I mean, that really links right back into the reflective statements right at the end there, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
So you're showing them, I have been listening, like
Yes.
genuinely listening.
Yes.
Okay. Listen, don't lecture, followed by, sorry, what was the next one?
Followed by time and space.
Time and space, right? Giving people time and space, and then
Change the venue.
change the venue. That's right, a neutral space where you can both feel neither person is kind of over the other person, right?
Absolutely.
And it's not a place that's emotionally charged.
Yes.
And then number 4 would be the ORS acronym,
Yes.
which open-ended questions, which I've not been doing because you've been answering yes to all of these. Open-ended questions, statements of affirmation,
Yes.
which you have been doing, saying yes, reflective statements, and then a summary of what they said.
Yeah, absolutely. These are not foolproof, but they will help your adolescent and you engage in a healthy manner. It's not going to solve all the communication problems, but it gives you an ability to be able to start someplace.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, James, for sitting down with us today. And yeah, we hope that this has been beneficial to you and your family. God bless.
Thank you.